All right, welcome. I first like to ask if there's anything that you came with, a question that you have about an assignment this week or anything in general that you really want to have answered, because I want to make sure that we address that first. Does anybody have a question?
No questions right now.
No question.
Okay, well, you let me know when you have a question.
Okay, for sure.
I want to make sure we stop and answer that. And the same is true if you have a question, text me and I can go ahead and get that answer to you and get you on your way. Please do not telephone, because I have a lot of spam that comes in and I won't have your numbers in my phone and I won't answer it. I will tell you to text me, and then that way I can get with you quickly. All right. But that's how we do that. I can also meet you in Zoom one-on-one if you need it, to go over your site, anything like that. That is also what we do during the weeks when we're here. During the week, you will often show me your website and we'll go through and discuss it and share those sometimes. Right now, the reason this is called Campus X is we are trying to provide as many opportunities for our campus students to start to enter the campus and be present with one another. That's oftentimes why they're on campus, so that they can be with other people. And while I am not on campus, we have a faculty proctor who is on campus with those students, and they would be joining us online, but they would be sitting with other students. And they would be in different classes. So that's what campus experience is about. There are a couple of things that you'll do this month. You will use Wix, and there's a reason for that. There are some really great CMSs out there, content management systems. However, Wix is the one that's pretty easy for everybody, and the class is sort of tailored around it. I also like Squarespace a lot, but they don't save your content, so that when you come back, those of you, Angela, who's in editing for the web, will have me again in web design, like Jessica does right now. And she will want to come back to her original site, but it would not be there if she used Squarespace. They don't hold on to that. They don't store it. Wix does, and it's free. So we use that. And it's very straightforward for what we're trying to do. And so we'll go over how to share that link with me. That'll be really important. One of the most important things. It's not hard, but if it doesn't get to me, that can cause some delays. All right, so we'll look at that, and then we'll talk about what you'll be launching and when. We have Friday blends, and everybody is welcome to those. They are in the MCBS program. We're offering them, but Jessica, you are more than welcome to join. I used to teach in the DCBS program. I'm good friends with Bob Truitt, your program director, and so we absolutely work together, and you're welcome to go to the wearemcbs.com site, and you can look at the virtual events. We have students pop in from other classes all the time. You can even go on campus if you want, and pop into our blended sessions where we have a lot of the other students that are together for different reasons. But we will have a list of campus experiences that people can have. We have a list of online sessions, their workshops that we offer. So take a look at that at the virtual calendar event, or it may be called campus experiences right now, but it will have a calendar and it will describe what's available. Those start at 1:00. There are other events, sometimes portfolio play dates, things like that. They may have a different schedule, but check it out and see. The blends are definitely available to you, and I recommend going to those. Okay, so in editing for the web, you're going to have a soft launch. That is, you're going to launch a draft sort of site, and that will be at the end of week 2. Those are usually due on a Monday, so it'll be the Monday of week 3 that it's due, but it'll be the end of week 2 project. And you'll be working on that from here till then. you have a Google folder that has all the content in it that you need. And so this is a time where you're provided everything a client would give you or that you would ask a client for so that you could put together a site. You then get feedback. It's usually video feedback, and you'll be in a group. So you'll see your whole class's feedback, and that will help you. And I recommend watching all of it. Then you will revise it and submit it again in week 4, completed. During the week 3, before you revise your site, you're going to work on a soft draft, just a skeleton of your professional personal portfolio. So that won't be complete. You will work on that. You will change throughout the year, create new work. And so that is just something that you'll get started and get some feedback on. But your fictitious client, you will work on that for 3 weeks to make sure that it's everything it needs to be. You will have enough time to do it. Do set enough time, though, to make it comfortable for you. Several hours. It's not hard. None of this is hard, but it does take a little time in order to avoid stress, right? And that's just life and everything, but particularly this, you can enjoy it if you allow time for it. We will not be coding. There's no coding, just in case anybody wondered. We have a web design program at Full Sail, so this isn't something that our students go deeply into. We can touch on it and do a little sandboxing, but you're going to use some templates that you choose that you like for this particular class. And then web design, you are going to launch right away. In the past, I had you launch the same week that Editing for the Web did, and that was great. But I find that you, in web design, and this is what will happen when you get to web design too, Angela, we want you to be able to have a finished site for yourself as soon as you launch. And for cinematography, digital cinematography, this is likely your only web design class, right? And so we have some goals to meet. So what I have you do is launch your draft right away. So that will be Monday. You will have your site launched. Between now and then, you are preparing everything that will go there. You have your about paragraphs that you worked on, and you're going to have a peer review those in their reply so that they can do some spell check, grammar check, give some suggestions and things like that. Then that's going to go on your site. So you'll be producing things this week that go to your site this weekend. And then we will be evaluating that. You'll get video feedback and you'll get peer feedback. And you'll go through a number of checklists until it's very close to where you need it to be. Okay. And so that is your process for the month. Do you have any questions, either of you, at all about what I've said? I know there's more that you'll learn over the month, but as far as what your overall goal is for the month, any questions? Okay.
No questions so far.
Okay, I see some chats. Let me see what that is. Okay, everything's good. All right. Very good. So sharing your Wix site. In your Wix site editor, you're going to select up at the top in the left, it will say site, and then the drop down will say feedback, and that's what you're going to do to send me this link. It'll be up here on your left in your editor while you're working. It'll be easy. Go down to get feedback, and then it will provide a link for you, and that's what you give me. That link will last for 2 weeks, and you're going to name it your before, that particular site. After you get feedback, you're going to duplicate your original site that you created here, and then you're going to label that after and make your revisions on that. So you will still have your first site. Okay, you don't have to worry about making any mistakes or losing anything. You're still going to have it, but you're going to make your revisions on a copy of that site. Okay. that's going to save you some time. If you were to use another site other than Wix, you probably would have to create a lot of before screenshots and after screenshots for me to be able to make those strong comparisons. So this is why I ask you to use Wix. It's one of the easier, streamlined methods for us right now. Any questions on how to share a link with me? And that is, you're going to post it in your assignments. It's going to say upload your link. And that's how you're going to retrieve that in order to get it to me. You want to make sure your site is set to public. But what happens sometimes is people will try to copy the URL and then I can't access it because that's to their editor and I don't have their password to their editor. Okay. And they don't understand because it will open for them, and it will open for them because they're probably logged in still. And so they don't have an issue with that. But anyone else, it will need to be set to public. All right. Proposals. Editing for the web is going to complete a full proposal. So some of the things that I'm about to talk about, the next 4 slides, are going to be very important to you because you're going to produce those. Those of you in web design, you either are coming from another course, creative writing, digital cinematography, or you're coming from MCBS where you've done this. You haven't done it if you're in the other 2 programs, but it's not really a requirement because this is a process that teaches you how to, the proposal process is for creating a website. If you were to create it for a client, for example. The other classes, the other programs, creative writing and digital cinematography, get this as an overview. They get the information, but they're not required to provide it because they're not working on the media communication element of trying to create a web design for a client. They are creating it for themselves. Everybody in web design is creating it for themselves. And they've either created the proposal already or they don't need to. And so you get the overview, but you're not required to submit it. Okay. I used to require it, but there are just too many other goals that are more important for your professional site in web design that I just talk about it. You don't provide it. So a sitemap. There's sitemap and wireframes go together. Okay. Editing for the web is going to have a sitemap this week that looks like this. It's going to have a home page. It's going to have an about page, which is about the fictitious client Real Deal Taco. It's a food truck. You're going to have a menu page. That content will need to be entered. It can't be a picture of the menu that we give you of the content because that will not be searchable. It'll just be a picture of words. It won't be actual words. So that content has to be entered into the template. Same with the location information that we give you. News, and then you have a contact page. So these are the pages that you have. Okay, so you have 6 pages. And this will apply to editing for the web week 3 when you create your draft professional site. But this is also what web design will create in week 1. You won't create the sitemap, but you will have a site that has 4 pages. It will have a home page, an about page, which will be about you. You will have created that already this week. And you will have 3 of your best works selected. And you will have selected those this week. And you will have also compiled asset guides for each one. Just a guide that says the name of it, what your role was, maybe some of the skills that you used, right? And that accompanies each of your works. I don't ask for a lot of work because it is better not to have a lot. Sometimes students want to put a lot of work, and it can become very confusing for the user. We want to make sure we don't have too many skill sets on our website. And that's, again, week 3 for editing for the web. and through the month for web design. We don't want a lot of skills. Maybe you can have a photography page, but whatever skills you have, we need to think about what it's called. That will be your tagline, your skill set, or your main skill. If it's cinematographer or videographer, video editor, whatever that is, that's going to be your tagline. We want to try and focus that as much as we can, narrow that down as best we can. If we put all of our skills that we have, people will put they're a model, they're a graphic designer, they're a photographer, cinematographer, writer. That does not go on one site. Okay. Sometimes a couple can go on one site because they can be in a similar umbrella, but I've seen sites that have wedding photography and then photos of pit bull fighting, and those don't go together on the same site. Okay, so just be really careful about who your target audience is and keep them in mind. We want it to be as simple as possible. So a sitemap can either be that outline that I just showed you, a list, or it can be a flowchart. Okay. In both cases, if you have a blog on your template, but there's no blog posting, then disable that page. We won't have a page that says to come, in progress, none of that. You can just disable it. It won't remove it from your lineup in your editor of your site builder, but it won't show up on your site when you publish it. And that's important because if there's nothing there, we don't want an empty page. Okay. But this can also be a sitemap, a flow chart of your pages. So wireframes, we have sitemaps. You just sketch those out, what you want them to be. And then you're going to have wireframes that are simply a diagram of these pages, right? So if you have, and this would be for Real Deal Taco, I think, no, this is going to be for this is a professional portfolio site that has a blog. So it is copying this one, okay? 5 pages here, 5 pages here. Your home, your work page, your about, blog, and contact, okay? And a sitemap, I'm sorry, a wireframes do not have specific content in them. They always have just placeholders, okay? Because this is a phase where if you were talking to the client, you're going to show them how it's going to be laid out. And we don't want them distracted by photos or content, text, anything in that could hijack the conversation in a different direction. We're just showing them how it's going to be laid out. So that's important. It's just a visual of the sitemap. Adobe XD is a really great program. It's pretty simple. And what it does is it gives you templates really for wireframes. It's a prototype creator, and it's a great way to just create your websites prior to going to build. Okay, so this is just one image, one wireframe from a 5-page site that I pulled out of that particular one. But it can look something like this. You can design it a little bit, but it will have options for you to choose. So take a look at that when you get a chance, and you will get a chance in one of your lists of LinkedIn videos. You get an option to watch Adobe XD. So if you are in editing for the web, you might want to check out Adobe XD because you will be producing wireframes. Okay. Any questions about sitemaps and wireframes and how they just go together? One is a list or a flowchart. The other is a diagram of that list of your pages. Okay, so I could make these the same. I should make these all the same project. I see that now. Okay. No questions. When I say try for just one skill set, I would. What skill sets do you mostly look at for yourself? Are you choosing between a couple?
So for myself, I'm a journalist and I do photography, but
Okay, so you could be
because
yeah.
they kind of go hand in hand.
Mhm.
As a journalist, you have photos along with your
Mhm.
articles and things of that nature.
Yeah, yeah, you could be a photojournalist. That's fine.
Yeah.
Or journalist. And right now, uh, yeah, that would fine. That would be fine. That would work out. Okay. Um, that's not going to be a conflict. You do want to make sure that you narrow your subject matter a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And just put your best work in there, because we don't want to have them searching throughout to find something they're interested in. It just your best stuff is the better way to go. Okay. Any other questions about? Okay. All right. We're good. All right. So here's what I want to do next. Because you guys show up, and that is so great of you. Two things I want to do. I'm going to do this first, and then we're going to play a little game. So if somebody is uncomfortable, let's say, with creating a website, then there's a 5 points here that will help you, and it should help you provide a very basic, simple, good site if you do these things. Okay, so here they go. 1, align your work, stick to a grid. Okay, left align your text, because the eye returns to the same place when it's all left aligned, and that's easier for the user to read. And it provides a straight line, and that's going to help keep your work organized. The mind is looking for organization and to make sense of a page. So usually in quadrants, but keep it in a grid with the same amount of space in between your content. Okay, it's going to make a big difference. Simplify. Use your best work. If something isn't necessary, don't put it on, right? If we've got little things we think are cute that we want to put there, it has to support everything to be there. We can't put anything there that isn't necessary. Okay, so keep it simple. Keep your background simple. I know sometimes you'll see parallax scrolling and it looks like it's, a great idea. It's not always a great idea. There are certain images that work in a parallax scrolling, but most do not. Anything with people where their head is cut off is not a good idea, or body parts, not a good idea. It has to generally be something that has a lot of depth, and whatever is in front of it must come out, project to the front, and the parallax image behind has to recede. Otherwise, it won't work. It can't be busy, the background image. So oftentimes the problem that students will try and work with is to keep an image in the background. It could be one of their photos, it could be a photo from Wix, and then try and put their videos on top of it. It doesn't work. It's too disjointed, and the mind is trying to look at both, and it's not a good idea. So you want to make your background, sometimes a solid color is the best thing to do. You want to avoid video backgrounds because they slow your site down. They take a while to load. And if they're from Wix, people have seen them. So if you find that there's this great video that you love and you can keep it simple and you want it in your background, take a screenshot from that and just use that as your background, rather than the whole video, of rolling water and things like that. Keep the background simple. For cinematographers, oftentimes a solid black looks great, or a dark gray or color scheme like that works really well and can highlight their work. And that's what we're going for. So you'll find the sites you like the best are usually very simple. For color, I love color. I love playing with color, but there are 100 color palettes on canva.com. And I would choose one of those because they're sure to have one. And whatever set you choose is sure to have a neutral that's going to look well with all of your work. And these are things that, have the same base colors and they just work out well. They've already been created. I would do that. Your templates will generally have a color palette. So going in and changing 3 of the colors or 1 of the colors in your template might not be a good idea. You either need to like that color palette, or if you're going to change it, you need to find a palette somewhere where you can find the color you like in a palette, and then use that for all the colors in the template. Use that palette. But just changing 1 or 2 colors likely isn't to work, okay, because they're not going to go together. You only want 2 fonts, and this is something I see a lot of. All your headers need to be the same style, the same size, the same weight, okay? All your body copy needs to be, your paragraph text needs to be the same weight, the same size, and the same style. Making sure those 2 work together is important, but keeping them simple is going to work best for you. Display fonts, we have to be careful with those. They're not for body copy. And so you'll see this come up a lot. People won't always notice that they've got 4 or 5 different fonts on a page. Okay, so that's something to be aware of. And then group your related content, like we talked about. If you have photography, group that. If you have videos, group that, and make it very easy to understand. If you need to add those 2 groups at all. But you'll see that, and groups can come in all different forms. But keep it in mind that you want to make sure that things are grouped in ways that make sense. Okay. Any questions about some of the fundamentals that will help you build a simple, good site? Okay. All right. Then the next thing I want to do, and let's see what 136. Next thing I want to do is play a game. And this is Can't Unsee. The link is to can'tunsee.space. I'm going to go here. I'll have to reshare my site. Okay, can everybody see this? Okay, so I want to make sure that you go to the can'tunsee.space site. So there are 2 ways we can do this. We can either do it together or you can do it individually. If we do it together, I will just go through, you will tell me what your choice is. And I think we'll just do that because there's just the 2 of us. I know there may be some background noise. I'm okay with that. All right. So, and here's the thing, Jessica, when we finish, I want you to take a screenshot of this because you will be submitting this this month. Okay.
Okay.
So this, I like to do this so people have a little bit of a reward. If they've come here, they get something that their time will be valuable for them. Okay. Or if they watch the video. early enough. All right, so, okay, generally this takes like 15 to 20 minutes. It really depends. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to choose which we think is the most correct of the two. There are 3 levels. There's easy, medium, and hard. So of these 2, which one do we want to guess is the right one? You guys tell me.
The one on the left.
Okay, do you agree, Angela?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, so this is how this plays out. Your description is going to be right here as what is correct. We can compare it and see that it's better. Now, this is an easy one. Okay. Okay, next. Which of these do you think is correct?
The one on the right.
Why do you think that? I'm just curious.
Because the heavier font on the right is easier to see.
Right. That's good. Okay. The icons, the fonts, and the shape. Okay, so these are things you're going to be looking at. Also look up here. All right, okay. Which one do you think is most correct?
They look the same to me.
Keep looking.
The one to the right.
Why do you think that one's the correct one? And you want to try it? We'll try it.
The little gray thing at the bottom where the OK is.
It's
way too big.
Yeah, and that was really hard to know which way they were going to go with this, right? But I noticed that they were different. But which one's right? They're saying that the speech bubble padding is more correct on the left one. Okay.
Yeah, just something.
Yeah. So if you're making a button for your website, that makes sense. This isn't a button, but something to think about. All right. So which one of these do we think is correct?
The one on the left, because the hang up button is in red.
Okay. Good thinking. The button color. Absolutely. Which of these?
The one on the right, because the camera is bigger.
Okay. See, they're saying that this one is the correct one because it aligns with the top and bottom of the letters. I like large, and being able to see is really important, but alignment and having space around it, having equal space around, is more important.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And this is why we play this game. We're learning little details. And they do become more difficult.
I would say oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would say the one on the right.
Yeah.
Because the S is in line with the icon.
And the S is capitalized.
And capitalized, yeah.
You're right. Now, don't think that I'm going to catch all of these on your site. The templates are supposed to be close to being correct. There are some that have some wording I don't like, and I point that out. But we will be looking at things, and you will have other things that we will probably look at as opposed to this kind of thing. But it will help you as you are building, because you're just going to be aware of more details.
Left.
The contrast.
Left.
Contrast again.
Left, I think, because
No, the right, I
color.
think. The icon on enable camera is in line on the right.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Okay, vertical text alignment. You're right.
So it's the difference between the thick line on the left or the thin line on the right.
Shall we take a guess?
I would say with the left. Oh.
I don't know why. Apparently it's not consistent, I suppose. I think that could come down to taste, but I guess it is a little overpowering and not the most important thing. So I could see that.
I believe the right, if she is online, it would be green. Is that correct? No, left, sorry.
Oh, you mean left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, I don't know my left from my right.
Okay. No, I saw it and I clicked it anyway. And I knew exactly what you were saying. But I heard right and I went right. I guess my audio is a little more overpowering than my visual. Okay.
I personally would do the one on the left because of the way that the lines and like it's even on all the sides. However, the photographer in me is going crazy about the way that they cropped that photo.
Okay. So what's our guess going to be?
I'd say the one on the left.
The aspect ratio, right? Because it was like a vertical on the other one. Takes up the whole space.
Oh, the one on the right because it's all the enabled camera is all in the same caps.
It's all caps. Right. Those things we do want to pay close attention to, right?
The one on the left because it's easier to see the green.
Price tag contrast. Contrast is a big deal. This is something that is going to show up a lot.
The right, the way the buttons are like emphasized with the lighting.
The contrast is stronger.
I'd say the one on the right because it's better to try to invite friends rather than skip. No?
One button with default style. Okay.
The right, because the photo on the left is squooshed.
Yes, it's very skewed. We don't want any skewed images on our site.
The one on the left because all of the buttons are filled in equally.
All the icons are solid, the same. I do get a lot of that where people will put icons in and they will not be the same weight line. line weight, and that is something that you want to get used to thinking about. If you have 3 icons in a row and they're different and a different style that's even slightly different, it stands out eventually.
So it's square edges versus rounded edges.
And what have we been using so far?
Square edges, right?
We've been using rounded edges.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So the right.
The border radius.
It's easier to the eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as rough.
Mm-hmm. And, well, we've got curves. So, next. This is an easy one.
The left, it's easier to read.
Yeah. Button contrast.
Left, you can read the 2 hours ago.
Subtitle, text, contrast. Very good.
Oh, the one on the left, because thin line is
right. The T is over here, and right. So it's the line break is wrong on the other one. So the text wrapping. And I will get a lot of this too when people put their about paragraph or any content into the template. They need to double check and make sure that the wrapping is correct, because the spacing sometimes will be completely off, and they haven't checked that. So be sure to check your paragraph text when you enter that into your templates.
The one on the right, because the skip is all caps.
Mm-hmm. Good job. These are medium difficult. T.
Say the left. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm having a difficult time seeing the difference here. Oh.
S-E.
Yes. See, you sensed it, but you weren't sure why. And I see this a lot too, and that is the kerning between characters. That's important. So you can see the space between the R and the C here is not the same. So it's text tracking. It's kerning between each letter.
The picture on the left is out of focus, so the one on the right.
Mm-hmm. That's right, the resolution. So we want to make sure everything has a high resolution on our page, but we don't want it so high that it takes forever to load. So sometimes they need to be optimized, and that's especially true of videos. We need to have them nice and sharp, but they need to, and our thumbnail needs to be nice and sharp. That's important. But they do need to load quickly.
Barbie! Hold on. Are we going to be embedding videos like from YouTube, or are we?
Yes.
Hold on, Hideo.
Yes.
Okay.
You'll embed them. We try not to send people off your site, right, while they're there, so you'll embed. Any guess? Or did you guys already tell me?
Still looking here.
Okay.
The one on the right, the hourglass is too big on the left.
Yeah, the one on the right.
Yeah, there you go. The icon size, right? They align top and bottom.
Right. The font is, yeah, different color font. So one doesn't make sense.
The contrast. Good.
Oh, I see the purple. I would say the one on the right because the purple arrow is like centered to the text.
Okay, let's choose that. Yep. Icon vertical alignment.
Good catch.
These are more difficult, right? These are still medium. They get harder.
The 2 hours is too close to the one on the right, so it's going to be the left one.
Right. Spacing, title, and subtitle.
The search is really dark. The word search is really dark on the right.
I'd say it's easier to see when it's a little bolder like that.
I agree. I don't know if they're going to say that's wrong or right.
Yeah, it's like, what do they want?
Is that right or is that wrong?
I mean, we like the way this looks. Let's see.
Actually, I think it's going to be the one on the left that they want because if it's too bold, then it doesn't look like you could type there. But when it's fainted out a little bit, it looks like you could actually type in and search will disappear.
Well, let's see. The font weight. They liked the other one. They liked it heavier. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And to me, it could be my eyes because, and here's the thing, you guys, you're also looking through Zoom. And so it could be that it's a little fuzzier. To me, it looks fuzzier, but it may not be. It may be very sharp.
I don't know about this one. Yet.
You want to guess?
The one on the right, it seems like the red is maybe a little bit redder.
Okay. To me, and like I say, it could be my eyes, it could be anything. To me, it looks like these are brighter than this.
Okay.
But I'm not sure that's it. The tint color. Yeah, there was a true tint there. It looked like there was a slight tint of a white, but I wasn't sure, but that's what they're saying.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Sure. We can go ahead and select one of these because this is being recorded. I might if somebody wants to watch it, they can. It might feel tedious to them, but you're welcome to watch it.
Maybe the one on the right. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to give you a hint on this one.
Okay.
It doesn't have anything to do with the art. And that is, it has nothing to do with contrast.
The one on the left. I think the thingies aren't lined up on the right.
Right. These
Yeah.
aren't aligned, are they?
Nope.
Exactly. Good job.
Start chatting.
Oh, there's more space between the. I would say that the one on the right. They want the one on the right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see what they say. Text blocks.
Yeah, the spacing.
Okay. Okay.
Here's your. Oh, I'd say the one on the left because I think the camera icon is maybe a little bit larger. I'm not sure.
Keep looking. I don't know. I don't remember which one you said. Did you say the left or the right? But
I said the left.
okay, keep looking. But we're going to choose the left. Okay. Look at the alignment here.
Yep. That's where it's off.
Yeah. The offset.
Wait, so it was the left or right?
It was the left.
Oh, but no. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. It looked right to you, and it was right. It just wasn't, the subheader or the subhead wasn't aligned with the Michelle. The two O's.
Camera sizes are different. The little button thingies are different. These are different. The camera sizes, I think.
You think those are different?
I think. Or my eyes are starting to double up.
Well, that's what I was seeing last time, so I'm not sure now.
I'm going to say the one on the right is correct.
I feel like
one on the left is correct because it lines up with that line. Possibly. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
this actually looks bigger. Oh, vertical content alignment.
No, it was the name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I'd say the one on the left because Again, there's just a slight vertical alignment between the header and the subtext.
The green numbers are also, the price is also centered vertically and horizontally in that green box.
Oh yeah, that is what it is, huh? That is what it is right there.
The price tag alignment. That's not a hard one.
Yeah, so I'd say the right one.
Look again. Are you
the left one?
You're making jokes. It's this shape.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
way off. I wasn't even looking at that, actually.
What were you looking at? Okay.
I guess you couldn't hear me. I said it seemed like start chatting was different between the right and left.
Yeah, it seemed like that, and it seemed like one was a little lighter than the other. Could be my eyes.
Okay, so this one, the right, because it's rounded box.
Okay. That's right.
The right, because all the little ones are in the circles.
Mm-hmm. These are supposed to be getting harder. What's going on? Oh, these are medium. The last one of the mediums.
It's okay. We'll take a few ones that aren't like throat punches.
So here are some hard ones, supposedly. Okay, not so hard. Right?
The one on the right's blurry.
Yeah.
This poor guitar advertisement. They should just take it down.
I think the one on the left.
Okay.
Because it seems to be heavier font on the subtext.
Okay. I'm going to stop the recording.